a lot of people, especially millennials. I won't even say millennials. We'll just call them Gen Z. They are just, they didn't grow up watching Michael Jordan play. They didn't grow up in the 90s and just understand the reason the NBA is as relevant as it is today is Michael Jordan. You could not go anywhere in the 90s without talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the biggest star in all of sports. You're talking NFL, you're talking NHL, you're talking all the major sports or organizations. Michael Jordan was the king. He was the biggest star in the world. I mean, the Looney Tunes had him and they created Space Jam. I mean, look, Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time. And this is the meme that they try to use to make their argument against Michael Jordan, who is bar none, hands down, the GOAT. I mean, pretty much every NBA analyst and player and community is voted. It's like 80% to 20% over LeBron James. He goes, it's pretty hilarious when stats like these exist, but we talk about Ray Allen, quote, saving LeBron because he hit a 3-point shot. Playoff totals in 6 final runs. Jordan, 3,700 points. Pippen, 2,200. Pippen out-rebounded Jordan. Pippen had more assists than Jordan. Pippen had more steals than Jordan. Pippen had more blocks than Jordan. See, I think of what a lot of these Gen Zers and really people that just watch Stephen A. Smith all day long and these ESPN people all day long that even put LeBron James in the GOAT conversation is that basketball is a team game. All right. Michael Jordan's role on that team was the shooting guard. His role was the finisher. His role was the scorer, and that was his role. Scottie Pippen's role on that team was to be the defender. He was a defender that handled the ball a little bit and was able to play off Jordan and come off Jordan and make some shots when he needed to make some shots, drive the paint, cut, and do what he had to do. But that's the thing. These people think LeBron is the greatest of all time because he gets all these assists, all these rebounds, all these points. When let's just go back to Cleveland when LeBron won the championship and Kyrie that's just Ray Allen. Let's not talk about Kyrie basically putting that team on his back and being the leading scorer and putting that team on his back, putting up 40 in a game, making all the shots and having to play off the ball when Kyrie is arguably, especially amongst all these young Gen Zers, Kyrie's the greatest ball handler the league has ever seen. One of the greatest ball handlers the league has ever seen. Which I might be able to agree with that. That Kyrie is one of the greatest ball handlers the league's ever seen. One of the greatest shooters the league's ever seen. The man shot a 50-40-90 season, which is amazing. Not too many players in the history of leagues done that. Kevin Durant, Dirk, Steve Nash, Kyrie's one of them, Steph Curry. I'm not sure if Clay had a 50-40-90 season. I think De'Aaron Fox had a 50-40-90 season last year. Larry Bird had a 50-40-90 season. So there's not many players. I might be missing one or two. But there's not many players in the league that's had 50-40-90 seasons. All right? And back to the point that Kyrie is the greatest ball handler the league has ever seen. So why is it that LeBron is on a team with one of the greatest ball handlers the league has ever seen, and he is forcing the greatest ball handler the league has ever seen, or one of them? Why is he forcing that player to play off the ball? Why? Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because LeBron James is not playing for wins. LeBron James is not playing for the team. LeBron James is playing for LeBron James. LeBron James is playing for a triple-double. LeBron James is playing to pad his stats. That is it. Michael Jordan wasn't out there trying to assist. Michael Jordan was was a king of his craft, and his craft was scoring the ball. He wasn't out there looking to make assists. He was looking to finish. He wasn't out there looking to lock players down, which he did. Micheal Jordan's the only player in NBA history to win an MVP, be first team all defense, lead the league in scoring, be a defensive player of the year, and win MVP. He did it like 4 or 5 times, and he's the only player ever to do it in the history of the league. LeBron James doesn't play any defense also. He'll take against Golden State when Kevin Durant was just splashing them, winning final MVPs. They had 6'5", 6'6" J.R. Smith covering and defending Kevin Durant. That's supposed to be LeBron James' matchup right there, and he just backs down from that matchup, and then he puts himself on like Stephon Livingston or some shit or some off-the-ball option. That's what LeBron James should have been with Kyrie Irving. Because one thing I'll say about LeBron James, he's one of the greatest dunkers the league has ever seen. He's one of the greatest athletes the league has ever seen. He's one of the best finishers and dunkers and able to jump out the gym and do things and play inside and finish inside. He's one of the greatest ever to do that. So why is it that you are not playing for the team, LeBron James, and setting a few screens for Kyrie Irving, who is one of the greatest ball handlers the league has ever seen, and rolling to the basket and doing what you do best and finishing at the rim? You have Rajon Rondo on the Lakers. LeBron James was playing off. Rajon Rondo had to play off the ball with fucking son of a bitch, man. Rajon Rondo had to play off the ball with LeBron James, and Rajon Rondo is one of the greatest ball handlers, one of the greatest assist men, one of the highest IQ players the league has ever seen, and one of his biggest weakness throughout his entire career. He got a little bit better at the end of his career. He put a little bit more touch on his ball, but he was not a great shooter. So having Rajon Rondo on the floor with LeBron James, it's amazing they won a championship. But having this guy, he's basically useless. He's useless. Why do you even have him on the floor with LeBron James? He can't play off the ball. He's not going to be able to consistently knock down jumpers like a J.J. Redick, like a Kyle Korver, like a Kyrie Irving, like a Ray Allen, like a Dirk Nowitzki, like a Klay Thompson. He ain't going to be able to do that type of stuff. His game is facilitating. His game is having the ball in his hands. His game is driving and hitting the open man with an in-rhythm jumper. That's what Rajon Rondo's game was. So this little thing here that Pippen had better rebounding stats, better assists, better steals, better blocks than Jordan. Pippen was a great defender. He was a great defender. That was his role of the team, is to be the defender, to get the rebounds, to get the assists. Do you think Jordan was boxing out and sitting under the rim trying to get a fucking rebound? No, Jordan wasn't boxing out and sitting under the rim trying to get a rebound. Anytime the opposing team put up a shot and it was a brick, Jordan was running the fucking floor because that's team basketball. He wasn't trying to get rebounds. He was the finisher. He was the offense. He was the guard, and he was moving the ball and changing the pace and getting the team to get the ball in the transition so he can go up and do what he does and finish at the rim. Jordan wasn't trying to get rebounds. Jordan wasn't trying to get assists. Jordan wasn't trying to get steals. I mean, yeah, you want to get steals and blocks, but he's not going to be overly aggressive on defense, trying to block the ball, trying to steal the ball, so he fouls out during the game, and because they need him on the floor to go out there and produce and put up 30 points a night, which he averaged throughout his entire career. The man averaged 30 points a game, best in the history of the league. 30 points a game. Mind you, at a 50% clip. At a 50% clip, he averaged 30 points a game. So not only Jordan was a fucking assassin, the greatest scorer the game's ever seen, he was efficient as hell doing it. And he was a winner. I mean, he won 3 championships in a row, retired, came back, and won 3 championships in a row. This is things that will never be duplicated in LeBron. And Michael Jordan literally changed the whole entire NBA, changed the league from basically the bottom barrel league that it was pretty much during the time compared to the MLB and the NFL. Shit, hockey might have been bigger than the NBA then. Michael Jordan was the biggest star, and he's still the biggest star because he's still being talked about to this day, every day on social media. And his shoe brand, it basically dominates the NBA. And, you know, it is what it is. They used to rock Converses back in the day until Michael Jordan made Nikes cool and Air Jordans cool. Now everybody wants to get a $350 pair of J's. I got J's on my feet. I got J's on my feet. I got J's on my feet. That's because he's the greatest of all time. He's the most marketable player of all time. And it's really not debatable at this point. LeBron can stat pad all he wants. But that's why he has more turnovers in the history of the league than anybody. Because he's a 6'8" forward. Yeah, he's a great ball handler, but in the reality of the game, and the fact is let's be real. He never should have been the primary ball handler with Kyrie Irving. He never should have been the primary ball handler with Rajon Rondo on the team. You have someone that has a better talent than you. So you got to be willing to sacrifice parts of your game to do what's better for the team as a whole. And LeBron James is not a team player. All this unselfishness, LeBron's so unselfish. LeBron, because he has all these assists. He is selfish because he is literally going out there to try to get assists. He's trying to get rebounds. He's trying to fill the stat box instead of actually doing fundamental things that are going to help the team win games. That's why he's 4-6, 3-6 in the finals, whatever he is, because he's out there playing isolation basketball. There's no ball movement. It's LeBron at the top of the key, spreading everybody out, driving to the rim, kicking, driving to the rim, kicking, driving to the rim, kicking, driving to the rim, kicking. That's straight up just backyard in the hood. That's all that's backyard in the hood basketball. That isn't professional team basketball that LeBron James is playing. He's not playing a role. There's 5 guys on the floor, and all 5 of those guys have a role to play. Center's role is to get the rebound. Center's role is to block shots. Get a little bit of easy buckets inside, finish at the rim, set picks. Forward, same thing. Maybe they can step out a little bit, shoot a little bit, open up the floor a little bit, set some picks, roll to the basket, get rim, get easy buckets inside, and shit like that. Forwards, maybe they stand at the corner and they knock down that three-point shot and, play a little bit of defense. Point guards' role is to carry the ball up, control the pace of the game, and facilitate and get all other 4 guys in their best position. Shooting guard, their job traditionally is to shoot and move off the ball in the offensive system. So then you make the defense work because you're moving from position to position, corner to corner, and then when somebody like a LeBron James drives, then you get that guy in his spot. The Spurs, they move the ball better than anybody else. Greg Popovich says, I don't want to see you dribble the ball more than 3 times, 4 times, hold the ball more than 3 seconds. If you're holding the ball more than 3 or 4 seconds, you're holding the ball too long. I want to see the ball moving from side to side, inside, and off of every pass in Greg Popovich's offense. This isn't isolation basketball. There's movement off the ball. The team is moving. And you get Duncan down in the post. You feed to Duncan down in the high post, and then Ginobili would cut, and then Duncan could make a little step, fake a pass, or he could dish the pass because the forward has to move up on Duncan because Duncan can knock down that 15-foot J. So the power forward or whoever's on Duncan's going to have to move up. So that opens up a lane for Manu Ginobili to cut at the basket. And then say if he fakes that pass and that forward tries to back off of him, Duncan can turn around, knock down that J, go the other side, and finish the bucket and finish the dunk. There's rotations and movement off of every pass in the Greg Popovich offense, and every player is getting to their spot. In the LeBron James offense, it's everybody stand on the three-point line, clear out, let me drive, and then I'm gonna kick it to you if they happen to bring a double on me, and then you got to make that open shot. That's it. There's no movement. It's easy. You just let LeBron drive to the rim. Let him drive to the rim. Micheal Jordan says he said he studied him. 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to make him go left. So he's going to have to shoot the ball. And that's what happens. LeBron James chokes in the final. There's not good shots. You're not making the defense work. You're making it easy for the defense. You're taking the guessing and the rotation. And basically, all the other players are just irrelevant. They're just decoys standing on a three-point line there to catch the ball so LeBron can keep on padding his stats. Maybe if LeBron was willing to be more of a team player, maybe if LeBron was willing to sacrifice a few parts of his game, Kyrie Irving never would have came out and demanded a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he probably would have won 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 more rings. Maybe he would have actually won more games, because the fact is, the way LeBron James plays, that is not team basketball. It's LeBron James basketball. It's I want to stat the Pats. I want to get all the glory. And then if we don't win, it's because we're too top heavy. Or if we don't win, I don't have enough talent. So that's why I need to take my talents to South Beach and join D Wade, who was literally considered the second best player in the league. And we're going to recruit Ray Allen from the Boston Celtics, our biggest competition in the Eastern Conference. We're going to recruit him and bring him to the Boston Celtics. Scottie Pippen was drafted by the Chicago Bulls and developed into his role. Micheal Jordan was drafted to the Chicago Bulls and developed into his role. The Chicago Bulls were the irrelevant of the irrelevant until Micheal Jordan and Scottie Pippen came to town. Okay? They turned that franchise around. They stayed loyal to that franchise. And it was history. One of the greatest teams in the history of the league. In the history of the league. And that's what they did. That is what they did. They won. They built internally. Maybe they went. The one thing you could say, they got Rodman from the Pistons, and the Pistons were a thorn in the Bulls' side. I will say that. But other than that, I mean, he came to them. It's not like Jordan up and left his franchise and sold out on his franchise and was like, "Oh, fuck Chicago, we're not winning. The Detroit Bad Boy Pistons are too tough for me. The Larry Bird Celtics are too tough for me. I'm just gonna jump and I'm just gonna go join Isaiah Thomas. I'm just gonna go join Larry Bird. I'm just gonna go join Magic Johnson so I could get rings." Micheal Jordan was a competitor. He wanted to do it himself. He wanted to be the best in the game, and he is the best in the game. So this is just such a crazy argument to me that just because Scottie Pippen had more assists, rebounds, blocks, and steals than Jordan in the finals, somehow he isn't the greatest of all time. Micheal Jordan, how many points was Micheal Jordan putting up in them final runs? He was putting up like 50 a game, bro. He was putting up like 60 a game, bro. Like literally, especially in the playoffs. That's when, oh my God, he was putting up 40, 50, 60 a game, bro. A game. Coming from the shooting guard position at a 50% clip. At a 50% clip. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's ridiculous at this point. It's ridiculous at this point. He's played, I don't know how many more years in the league than Micheal Jordan at this point. It's like so many more years than Micheal Jordan at this point. And Micheal Jordan still has more accolades, still more NBA MVPs, still more NBA All Defenses, still more Finals MVPs, still more championships, still more NBA All First Teams. I mean, every single accolade that you can really go down and judge an NBA player for, Micheal Jordan has more accolades than LeBron James. and did it in less time. And he almost averages, he might be an assist and a half, 2 assists behind LeBron James. He might be a rebound, 2 rebounds, maybe 3 rebounds per game behind LeBron James. And he scores way more than LeBron James, period, point blank. And that was his role. And he was playing team basketball. That's the biggest point. LeBron doesn't play team basketball. This narrative that he's the most unselfish player because he gets all these assists and blah, 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 blah. And yet you got Colin Cowherd's out here calling Russell Westbrook a stat patter all day long. That's all you hear is Russell Westbrook's a stat patter. Russell Westbrook's a stat patter. Russell Westbrook's a stat patter. But LeBron James is the GOAT. Come on, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. There's no reason that a 6'8", 270-pound forward should be the primary ball handler on your team. It shouldn't, especially when you got Kyrie Irving. Magic had to step up in that position because they didn't have a point guard. It's not like Magic came in there and he's like, I'm the point guard. No, they didn't have a point guard. Magic got an opportunity and he ran with it. Kareem went down in the finals. Magic stepped up and played center. And it put up, I don't know, a crazy amount of numbers. Magic Johnson was just one of the greatest of all time. All right? If Magic Johnson didn't have to retire early because of a horrible disease, we might be talking about Magic Johnson being the greatest of all time at this point because there might never have been a Micheal Jordan if he didn't have to retire early. Let's just be completely honest about it, man. Because Magic Johnson basically averaged a triple-double for his entire career. Magic Johnson was putting up for his career, I think he averaged 12, 13, something ridiculous, 12, 13 dimes a game. You're talking the Showtime Lakers. And then I even see people coming out here talking about how LeBron is the greatest Laker of all time because he won 1 bubble championship. Kobe won 5 championships. Kareem won 4 championships with the Lakers. Magic won 5 championships with the Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal won 3 championships with the Lakers. Kobe Bryant, like I said, won 5, won 3 with Shaq, 2 with Gasol and company. Odom, Artest. I mean, come on, who's all on that team? Luke Walton, this little kid, whatever his name was. Jordan Farmar was on that team. Lamar Odom was the 6th man. They had, who's that center that we used? Bynum. Bynum was on that team. I mean, come on, man. I'm a diehard NBA fan. And like I see a lot of these young people talking about how Shaq is the greatest center of all time. Shaq might not even be top 5 center of all time. Without a doubt, no question, bar none, hands down. You can't even debate it, bro. Because these young people, they don't know anything about history and they don't want to put the history into context. The greatest center of all time, bro, is Walt Chamberlain. Some of the things Walt Chamberlain did is never going to be ever duplicated again in this league. Ever again. Walt Chamberlain is hands down, bar none, the greatest center ever to play the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is number 2. And I would probably put, honestly, Hakeem Olajuwon over Shaquille O'Neal. Because, let's just go back to the early 90s when Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon won his NBA championship. What team did they happen to beat? Oh! The Shaquille O'Neal Orlando Magic. I'd put you could debate that one. That's a tough one. Hakeem or Shaq, Shaq or Hakeem. That's a tough one. But I'm taking Hakeem over Shaq. Walt Chamberlain, no doubt, no question, undebatable. That motherfucker, undebatable. And Hakeem or Kareem, come on. Most points of all time. Most rebounds of all time. Some of the most blocks of all time. Got more championships than Shaq. How can you even try to make that? And he played for the same team. He made the Lakers what the Lakers were. He was part of it with Magic. He's the reason Shaquille O'Neal left Orlando and went to Los Angeles because the Los Angeles Lakers they are who they are. So I'm tired of it, bro. It's all day, every day in these groups and in the media and everything else. LeBron Michael, LeBron Michael, LeBron Michael. Come on, man. LeBron couldn't get past Duncan. Steph Curry has more championships in this era than LeBron James. So he doesn't even have the most championships in his era. Duncan dominated the early 2000s. Kobe dominated the early 2000s when LeBron was in there, couldn't win shit. And now, they're out of the league. LeBron, he's left, and he still can't get past the Golden State Warriors. He can't get past them because they are a better... Is Curry better than LeBron? Probably not. But they're a better team. Every player on that team plays their role. And Steve Kerr, who was groomed and learned how to coach under the great Greg Popovich, like I was talking about earlier in this video, how there's always movement, there's always rotation, there's always people moving within the offensive system to make the opposing defenses work every possession, and they work for the best shot every possession. Instead of LeBron jacking up an early three, or LeBron just driving and shooting up 4 shots every single goddamn time, or taking a dunk or whatever. They're moving the ball. Klay Thompson's playing his role. Draymond's playing his role. Steph's playing his role. The center's playing their role. And then whoever they had in there, power forward or small forward at the time, is playing their role. Durant and whoever else. Wiggins now. The list goes on and on. They used to have Bogut. They're rotating different bigs in now. Kevin Looney now they got, and different players. And they're a better team. And that's LeBron's biggest problem, is he never wanted to buy in to what the team was doing. He's uncoachable. He does whatever he wants. I mean, Magic straight up quit as GM of the Lakers. He said, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here, man. Because LeBron not only thinks he's the coach, LeBron not only thinks he's the point guard, LeBron not only thinks he's a shooting guard, LeBron not only thinks he's a small forward, the power forward, and the center, he thinks he's the coach, he thinks he's the assistant coach, and he thinks he's the GM, and he thinks he's the owner. Because, come on, with his playing his victim card and coming out here speaking like he's like educated, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like he's some kind of activist or something like that, when really he doesn't know anything, and every time he speaks, he sounds like just an ignorant fool, because really, he speaks on things he really doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just out there talking. Just talking. Instead of doing some research and actually, Jaylen Brown might be the real deal. Jaylen Brown's out there actually trying to make a difference. LeBron, all you care about is yourself, dude. Let's just keep it plain and simple. Let's keep it 100. You sold out on Cleveland. I was a LeBron James fan, and I was a Cleveland fan, and I was a diehard Cleveland fan. I'm from Pittsburgh, so Cleveland was on the local station around here, and I rooted hard. I rooted hard for the Cavaliers. Rooted hard for them until LeBron decided to sell out on his city, sell out on his organization, and, up and left to Miami. And he could barely get it done down there with D. Wade, one of the top 3 shooting guard of all time. Behind Jordan and, who's better? I mean, behind Jordan, really. And then you got like D. Wade, maybe one other person ahead of D. Wade. Kobe. Jordan, Kobe, D. Wade. That's how Jordan, Kobe, D. Wade. That's what it is. That is what it is. And he couldn't win multiple championships with D. Wade. That's sad, bro. That's sad. Let's pull up D. Wade's stats before he was playing with LeBron James. D. Wade was probably averaging 27 a game, 5-6 assists, 6 rebounds a game. But D. Wade, LeBron came to town, and D. Wade, who I would argue is probably a better ball handler than LeBron James, maybe not as good of an assist man as LeBron James, because D. Wade was actually looking to finish instead of drop off dimes. He was a better finisher, but I'd say just in terms of straight ball handling, D. Wade's a better ball handler. And when LeBron James came to town, down to Miami, guess what D. Wade had to do? Sacrifice a part of his game. And guess what happened? His numbers took a dip. Because he was accustomed to being the primary ball handler for the Miami Heat organization. And then LeBron comes, and of course he has to play with the ball in his hands. Because then how's he going to average 8 or 9 assists a game? How's he going to get all those rebounds? He wouldn't be able to do it if he played off the ball. he'd only maybe get 2, 3, 4 assists instead of 6 or 7. But he'd probably be shooting at a way higher clip, and you'd be making the defense work a hell of a lot more, and you'd be getting way more efficient shots and better shots, and you'd probably be winning a lot more games if you would actually, buy into what the team's doing and sacrifice a little bit of your game for the greater good of the team. But LeBron isn't worried about the greater good of the team. LeBron James is only worried about LeBron James and padding his stats and having this unrealistic term of the greatest of all time put on his name when really he ain't. He ain't the greatest of all time. That title belongs to Jordan. I might argue that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a better player all time than LeBron James. I might argue that Tim Duncan is a better player all time than LeBron James. I might argue that Kobe Bryant is a better player all time than LeBron James. Honestly, Kobe got more rings. Kareem got more rings. Shit. Come on, man. Come on. Duncan beat LeBron twice. Duncan in the same era. Duncan beat LeBron twice in the finals. Come on. You say, well, Duncan had Ginobili and Duncan had Parker. Parker really wasn't that great of a guard, to be honest. Ginobili was good, but Parker would never be a Hall of Famer if he didn't have Duncan on his team. Like, Duncan made Parker who Parker was. Let's be real. Tony Parker was, I don't know, he just made the Hall of Fame, but obviously because he has the hardware. But come on, man. It's easy to get assists when you're kicking it down to Duncan. It's easy to get assists when Duncan's setting a screen for you and he can pick and pop or pick and finish. One of the greatest post players ever to play the game, and he has the most all defensive NBAs in the history of the league. 5 championships. Beat LeBron twice. And Curry beat LeBron multiple times in the NBA Finals. Has more rings than LeBron. And is probably I'd say right now the Golden State Warriors have a better chance of getting a ring this year than LeBron James. I'm just going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it 100. So, it's not a debate anymore. I'm tired of it. LeBron's a stat patter. It's time for him to hang it up. I mean, you're just playing for stats at this point, LeBron. You're never going to win another ring, especially with this Lakers team. I guess maybe you can win a ring if you decide to take more money for less and then, take less money, go to a team that's stacked, kind of like you went to a team that was stacked in Miami, and then you left Miami and went back to Cleveland with a team that was stacked with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving and a young core that you just wanted to go up in there and you piggyback on that, just like you wanted to piggyback on D-Wade. And LeBron or Jordan, he wasn't piggybacking off nobody. Kobe wasn't piggybacking off nobody. Duncan wasn't piggybacking off nobody. Magic wasn't piggybacking off nobody. They made their teams and they made their organizations. LeBron, you just hopped from team to team to city to city to city to dick to dick to dick to dick to dick to dick to dick. Like the little hoe that you've been your entire career. So you are no greatest of all time. You're a great player, top 10. But to put your name in the conversation with Micheal Jordan, I guess is the great Stephen A. Hairline says, is blasphemy. Because that's what it is. Blasphemy.